Hello everybody, it's time for Off the Ledge. And it's Tuesday, April 8th. The moon just went into Virgo about an hour ago. So on that front, it should be a good day to get organized and to feel grounded. Good day to maybe do your gardening too. And we'll check for more details with Kathy Beal momentarily. Every day I'm doing Off the Ledge to keep us calm, because when we're calm we're effective. When we're all over the place we're not effective. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Hopefully you're seeing some good results. I'd like to hear about that if you want to leave a comment, and thank you to those of you who leave really nice comments. It really offsets the nasty ones. Anyway, I'm getting less nasty ones, so that's good. That feels like a win. So I'm going to read from Ernest Holmes, but I just want to let everybody know initially that in a certain way I feel more optimistic than I have been in the past. I'm always optimistic. I'm a Sagittarius, but you know, we've been going through some really incredible, terrible things. And the reason that I'm feeling optimistic is because the movement against this administration, this criminal administration, is going to blow up exponentially. It's about to be huge. And the movement against this criminal mob administration that works for Putin is going to get so large that something will happen. And so it makes me feel better about all these years of hard work of doing PNN, doing Grassroots of Democracy 3 times a week, actually 4 times a week, for 2.5 years, all the guided meditations, all the prayers for a healed America. It just makes me feel like there's some momentum, and that's exactly what we need. So I'll let that noisy truck just left, but there's always another. On the 8th, okay, so we're going to read from Ernest Holmes. So please hold that in your consciousness, that the movement is growing. And the reason the movement is growing might not be the best, but it's whatever it takes. It's greed. It's that the people that have millions upon millions and billions are actually very insecure about money when you think about it. Because if you were secure about money, if you had enough, maybe a little extra to share and spare, then you wouldn't be so freaked out by losing some. But that it involves money is going to cut into their sense of greed, like nobody's going to take my money. So that's kind of a plus too. Let's read from Ernest. You know what I mean? Catch my drift? Ernest Holmes starts with 365. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. That's from the book of Revelations. Let's see what further things Ernest has to say about this. It actually taps into what I was talking about a lot yesterday. Fear is the great enemy of man. It is impossible for a person to do his best if he is filled with anxiety. Did I not just say that? Have I told you I don't read these ahead of time? Unless we live without fear today, we will dread tomorrow. Those who live in the dread of tomorrow generally harbor memories of things that were unpleasant in their previous experience, and expect that more of this unpleasantness will transpire in the future. The present day in which they live is robbed of all peace and joy. This so disturbs the mind that restful sleep is impossible. Such people seldom rise in the morning filled with buoyant hope, joyful anticipation, and the natural enthusiasm and zest for living that we all need if we are to get the most out of life. Yesterday is forever past. We cannot relive it. No matter how we may regret what happened yesterday, it is impossible actually to live it over again. But too often in imagination, we do live it over and over again, and in so doing, bring all the misery of yesterday into today. Learn to forget yesterday. After we have gone over it and learned by our mistakes, the thing to do is to correct those mistakes and to forgive ourselves for anything we have done. And so it is. So let's put this in the context of where we are right now. We know that this criminal administration keeps getting away with being lawless. That's what we've seen in the past. So as we manifest from the present, moving into the future, let us be in the consciousness that that will change. Okay? That's what I'm going to say about that. Now I want to remind everybody that Ernest Holmes wrote his books right around World War I and World War II. So if you think during those times it was hard to keep your faith, you're right. I'm sure it was. Let's go to Kathy. I hope you're having a good Tuesday thus far. Lucky number 8.
This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for April 8th, 2025. Look for insight today. Look for a doorway. Look for windows. Look for the lightning. Something will shake up in a way that will ultimately benefit you. It may be in a way you haven't thought of to get something that you want. It could be a relationship breakthrough. It could be simply shaking off the doldrums, shaking off the feeling like you're being bogged down in the weight of the world. That's all for now.
That's great. I feel like today's a good day. I'm thinking of a couple things that I want to kick off today. So I feel like today's a good day for that. To just kind of kick it off. Go for it. Whatever you had planned, just go for it. Just jump. Not off the ledge, but jump into the opportunities that are always available for you. Let me read our protection prayer. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Let's just know that God means the intelligence that created us. All right. I ordered some flower seeds today, so that's going to kind of reinforce that the divine works through the miracles of plants and, you know, the natural world, that we can see it visibly, is what I mean. Okay, so let's take, I have not found my Osho deck, but I did find my nefarious cards last night. They were tucked away in a black bag. For those of you who watch PNN, which is most of you, please share these videos if they're helpful to you. Off the Ledge, you get a little mini reading, you get an inspiring page out of Ernest Holmes, and you get an astrology report. So, and hopefully you get some optimism. Let's see what cards we can get from the Psychic Tarot, but I also felt like I wanted to pick a fairy, the Forest Fae card, so let's do that first. First, the Forest Fae. Let's ring a little fairy bell. Oh, fairies. Okay. I'm rather silly. The wild god, go to the woods, to the moss, to the mud, to the magic. This is really, you know, like I was saying on Sunday at Church of Spirituality, I was saying about how from the mud, first mud, then lotus, the lotus flower grows out of the muck. The muckier the muck, the more beautiful the flower becomes. So, go to the woods, to the moss, to the mud, to the magic. Let's look at what we're going to create out of this mess. So use the energy of this mess that we're in the United States to create something brand new and better and just wonderful. I did ask last night for people to who could commit to send me an email if you're committed to being in a group of 12 to 15 people. We won't be meeting on Zoom or anything, but I'll be distributing to these 12 to 15 people who volunteer some kind of a meditation that we can do at the same time. We'll line it up with according to time zones. that we can do every day to oust this criminal administration, to oust fascism. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com is where you email me to be part of that. Anywhere from 12 to 15 people that can commit to doing that daily. It would just take a few minutes to either read or do the guided meditation. Haven't decided yet. Okay. 3 cards to guide us through today. Know that partnerships and alliances is actually pointing to that the Democrats are hearing from the Republicans that the Republicans agree that something needs to change. I mean, I mentioned it before. When I saw Rand Paul fighting against these tariffs, i.e. fighting against Dumpy, I was really surprised. The deception and envy, people suffering in silence, but I think the key thing here is those that have been suffering in silence, I'm talking about the MAGA Republicans, are going to be forming partnerships and alliances with the Democrats because they know that what they've done, their deception, has led to this. Their criminality has led to this. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Those MAGA members of Congress are being affected by these tariffs, and they're watching their investments drop in value. What we're headed for right now has the feeling of a very deep recession. Stay tuned to PNN. I'll do a pop-up today too. Those are shorter videos in which I answer a couple of questions, just regarding what's going on. I do sense that because this is common ground, because finances are common ground, the MAGA Republicans, believe it or not, because it's affecting their bank accounts and investments, and many other reasons too. They won't get reelected if they just go along with this tariff thing, especially. Know that the partnerships and alliances are forming. Be a part of that. And today, I just ask you to maybe consider, I suggest us each considering how we'll be contributing to, personally, to our democracy being saved. I mentioned the other day, I didn't go to the rally that had over 100,000 people in Boston. I had been to the smaller one that was on a Tuesday in the colder months. I don't remember the exact date. But I'm doing so much of this that I felt like I won't go to that one. I'll probably go to the next one, though. All right. Have a great day. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. Please share. And we'll see you on my other vids. All right. Namaste. PsychicAnnetteDion.com to book a session.